I got out just in time. Half of the farm is on fire. I need to rescue the animals.
Oh no! Grandma! Please don't go back in there. It's not safe.
My donkey. I have to go, Leanna. Bye.
My grandma hung up suddenly, and I was scared out of my mind. Somehow her farm had caught on fire, and I was starting to think it was all my fault, even though I lived about 10 miles away. You see, something happened when I went to my grandma's farm a few weeks ago, and terrible things have been happening since. Stick around and I'll tell you how it all happened. About 6 months ago, I was totally bored with my family. I lived with my mom and dad, who were both accountants. Brad, my big brother, and Gina, my little sister. One evening, we were all having dinner, and I tried to express myself. This is a really boring family. How did I end up being born into this family of losers?
Liana, that's no way to talk to me and your mother.
Why don't you accept my constructive criticism and just become a little more exciting? I mean, who has 2 accountants for parents? Why couldn't one of you be a movie star or something? I'm so embarrassed when I have to talk about you guys in class.
Leanna, I'm sick of your foolishness. I'm sending you to your grandma's house for 2 weeks as a punishment.
Mom, no, there's no electricity there.
Well, you're such an exciting person compared to us. I'm sure you'll find cool things to do.
I went up to my room sulking. Why couldn't they, just listen to me and become cooler? No. Instead, I was getting punished. The next day, my dad drove me to my grandma's place. She was so happy to see me, but I just wanted to bury myself in a hole in the backyard.
If it isn't my favorite granddaughter, I'm so grateful I'll get some extra help on the farm now.
Hi, Grandma. I couldn't be angry anymore because my grandma was just too cute. I took my bags and my dad sped off like he was happy to get rid of me, but I didn't care. My grandma had made a cherry pie, so nothing in the world mattered anymore. After getting settled in, my grandma started telling me a story about a magical mushroom elf. She always told me stories like that, so I wasn't shocked or anything. Grandma, where do you get those stories from? Your head? You've got a really vivid imagination.
My head? Everything I tell you is true.
Grandma, I hate to break it to you, but elves don't exist.
Oh, they do. And they can grant you wishes. So, this mushroom is bright pink with blue dots, and only very special people can see them while wandering through the forest. When you see it, if you want to make a wish, you must touch it lightly. Then an elf will appear and grant you 2 wishes.
That's funny.
It's true, child.
Have you ever seen one before?
No, but my grandmother told me she did. Somewhere around this farm. That was many, many years ago. Anyway, it's getting late. Take this lamp to your bedroom and don't forget to turn it off before you go to sleep. Make sure you set the alarm for 5 o'clock tomorrow morning. You have to milk the cows.
Okay, Grandma. I went to my room and fell asleep while trying to read a book. For the first few days, I was bored out of my mind, working on the farm, and eventually I just couldn't take it anymore. I decided to go exploring and, yep, you guessed it, right into the forest. After walking for about 15 minutes, I started feeling really hungry, so I tried to make it back to my grandma's house, but I ended up going in circles for another 20 minutes. I finally realized I was lost. I sat down in some grass and was about to start crying when I noticed something next to me. Could it be? I stared for a while. It was the same pink and blue mushroom from her story. Now, trust me, I didn't believe in magic at all, but there's just something about being lost in a forest that makes you believe in anything. I stroked it, and poof! A little man with huge ears popped out of the mushroom.
Hello, Liana.
What are you? How do you know my name?
Don't objectify me. The correct question is, who are you? My name is Oliver. Oliver the elf. I'm here to grant you 2 wishes. Please hurry up, because I've got other things to do.
I was a bit too shocked to speak.
Well?
My first wish is to get back to my grandma's house.
Granted. Just follow the path of orange flowers.
Suddenly, a little path was created out of nothing. Wow.
What's your second wish?
Maybe you can make my family less boring? Yes, that's my wish, to have a less boring family.
Granted. Now goodbye.
And he disappeared. I ran down the path and reached my grandmother's house. Wow, it really worked, I thought. I decided not to tell Grandma anything, and I just continued doing whatever she asked until it was time to go home. When my time was up, my dad came to pick me up. I hugged my grandma and said goodbye.
How was your time on the farm, darling?
Great. Dad, did anything exciting happen while I was gone?
No.
He continued driving in silence. When we got home, my mom was standing outside, looking worried. My brother was standing next to her, looking like he was about to cry, and my little sister was playing in the grass. Hi, Mom, what's wrong?
We stepped out for a while to go to the supermarket, and when we got back, all of the furniture was missing.
What do you mean the furniture is missing?
My dad asked angrily. We walked inside and it was surreal. All we had left were curtains. Everything was gone.
But how would someone even have time to steal all this stuff? And how did no one else notice and call the police?
I don't know.
Suddenly, my mom's cell phone started ringing.
Yes, boss. Sure. But I can't come in right now. I'm dealing with a family emergency. What do you mean you have something important to tell me? Can you please tell me over the phone? What? Oh my gosh.
My mom hung up and stared at the floor. Mom, what's wrong?
I've just been fired.
What? My dad decided to take us to a restaurant for dinner after we called the police and they made all the reports.
So what now?
Well, I think we'll have to sell our house because we don't have any savings.
But where will we live?
I don't know about you guys, but...
Dad, what do you mean?
Well, I'm sorry to break it to you all like this, but I've been seeing someone. Her name is Nicole, and she's 8 months pregnant with our baby.
You piece of dirt! How could you cheat on me? I thought you loved me. We have a beautiful family together. How could you even think of doing something like this?
I'm sorry, darling. I'm going to move in with her since our baby is coming soon. The rest of you will just have to figure out your own living situation.
My jaw literally dropped. In no time, all our furniture was gone, my mom's job was gone, and now my dad was having an affair? And I was about to have a baby sister or brother? This was not what I meant when I said I wanted a family that wasn't boring. So anyway, my parents had a huge fight in the restaurant, and when we got home, my mom packed our clothes and we went to stay with her sister a few blocks away. We were lucky because she had a few extra rooms, but it was still weird being away from my real home. Things continued to get worse. My brother got kicked off his baseball team because they thought he stole something. Then my sister came home one afternoon crying because no one in her kindergarten class wanted to be her friend anymore. Everyone's life was literally falling apart, and it was all my fault. I had to try to do something to make it right, but what? I sat and thought long and hard. Maybe I needed to go back to the forest to find that stupid elf. Hey, Mom, can I go to Grandma's house this weekend?
Sure, honey.
But just as she agreed, the phone rang and my grandma told me the farm was on fire. After she hung up, I convinced my mom to take us up there immediately to check on her. When we got there, the firemen had already put it out and my grandma was hugging her donkey and smiling.
At least Rex is okay.
I hugged my grandma tightly. Yes, Grandma. Rex the donkey. And you. You matter more. Now, Grandma, can I tell you something? I think this is all my fault.
What do you mean, baby?
Remember that mushroom you told me about? And the elf? I found them in the forest when I was staying here a few weeks ago. I wish that my family would be less boring, but this isn't what I meant.
That's silly, Oliver.
You know him? I thought you said you never...
There's a lot I haven't told you, dear. But sometimes, magic comes into our lives to teach us to be more grateful for what we already have. I might know how to reverse this curse. There's a special type of paper in my drawer inside. Write him a note, then drop it in the forest. You'll know he read it when things begin to change for the better.
None of this made any sense to me. First, a mushroom, then an elf, and now some magic paper? But it was worth a shot. I followed my grandma's instructions and ran back to the house. We all left together, including my grandma, because she was still a bit in shock from the fire. We had about 2 weeks of calm when my dad walked into my aunt's house with a bouquet of flowers and an announcement.
So, the baby was born?
What does that have to do with us?
It isn't mine. I came here to apologize for everything. The affair, moving out. I'm so sorry. Please, take me back. I'll never do it again.
Surprisingly, my mom took the flowers, then gave him a hug.
I got a huge deal at work and will be able to keep the house. And I bought lots of new furniture to say sorry. It's not just these flowers.
We moved back home that same day, and although things were a bit awkward and rocky at first, our family improved. Brad was accepted back onto the team, my mom found a new job, and my little sister was able to make friends again. I realized that my boring family was the best in the world, but now I'm really suspicious of my grandma. I think she might be a witch or something.